Hi friend, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about recent Bath & Body Works buys. It feels like I'm coming at you way more frequently than ever with these kinds of videos, but it's such an interesting place to be in. We'll talk more about it in an upcoming hoarding closet update, but I have legitimately been running out of things. And then there's also been some really ideal sales that I've wanted to hit up for various reasons. So here we are chatting about it. Let's go ahead and jump in. So I essentially had a free full-size body care coupon, and then they were doing a 75% off to try to get rid of their fall and Halloween stock. And so that brought me into the app, just like kind of poking around, and I found a few things. The first thing I found was a pumpkin cupcake. I actually hadn't purchased this for one of my hand soaps for the fall, and I was a little bit surprised when I made that realization, because this is one of those ones that I typically like to buy every single year. It's just like a nice it's just really like a nice vanilla with a little bit of pumpkin spice note to it for the fall. So I thought it was in like cute packaging. Not that that really matters, because I tend to dump these out into the reusable ones that I own from Bath & Body Works, but I thought it was decent packaging, and it's one of those scents that I could easily use in the fall or winter, so I wasn't super partial to it. And I figured for it being, I think it was like, I don't know, $225, $250. When it was all said and done, that was worth it, because I am having a hard time recently finding hand soaps at the semi-annual sales that are deeply discounted. A lot of times they're only really ever going 50% off in my area, and that tends to move them out of stores. When they actually go 75% off, a lot of my stores around me don't have any more stock. So I tend to be looking for hand soaps around those like $225, $250, like somewhere under the $3 range when they do their regular, just occasional hand soap sales, or like this with the Halloween overstock or fall stock, whatever it is they were trying to get rid of. Then I picked up a body cream for Ben. This was the Immortal men's shop. I think it's cute that they actually decided to do some Halloween theming for the men's line, and not just the generic sort of core-esque collection or not really thematic branded ones. The notes of this are black plum, suede chiffon, and haunted woods. Basically, like I always say, it smells like any of their other body care, minus like a little bit of a spin-off, but it's nice, it's pleasant. Their body care is really strong, which doesn't bother me, but I definitely think it kind of double dips as like a cologne. Like if he were to shower in the morning and go out, I can smell this on him throughout most of the day. But just a nice, quick, easy purchase for him, because he doesn't have a ton of body care. And then I decided to pick up one for myself, because I am blowing through body creams at a pretty rapid rate. So I decided to grab Evil Queen. This one is dark red apple, vanilla suede, and wicked pear. I like hummed and hawed about this, but at the end of the day, I really like pear and plum scents in body care, and I don't think that Bath & Body Works does it super frequently. So I always want to show with my purchasing power when it's a good price that I do like that kind of scent. So I figured while this was super discounted with my body care coupon on top of it, that I'd go ahead and cash in for that. So that was a worthwhile purchase, but it did not stop there, because they released their winter Pocketbacs, and I once again was in a position needing to buy Pocketbacs, because all the ones that we have out for fall are currently almost like at the halfway point or about to be finished off. So I was like, well, sometimes Balsam Fir runs out of stock before I might be jonesing for it, so I better go ahead and hit it up if they have it, and they did not disappoint me. So first one that I got was Winter Candy Apple. This is always a scent that I have in some fashion in my life, whether it's a candle or body care, or this time around, I'm going with it as a Pocketbac. I may also procure it in a hand soap, but we'll see, because it's one of those scents that I can easily become sick of if I'm not careful, but I do think it'll be a nice just Pocketbac scent to have around. I also grabbed the Milk Bar birthday cake. I'm really loving the sickly sweet vanilla frosting vibe of this. And I think even though it's not necessarily winter to me, I like that it could be any season. So I'm not super pressured to use it right now because I'd probably like it any time of year. But I figured while they were significantly discounted, I may as well just get one and have it and either use it when I tire of a winter one or this spring, whatever comes first. I also wanted to try out the Snowflakes and Cashmere. I am not sure I've ever had this scent as a Pocketbac or it's even been out as a Pocketbac before, but I love this scent. And I'm curious how it will translate in this format because not every body care scent universally goes well in all of the different variations that they can do. So I was definitely curious about this. And then that brings us to balsam fir. So I got 2 of the fresh balsam, which is not my favorite, but it's a pretty good one. It's definitely 3rd in the ranking. I go Tree Farm first, then I go like winter citrus wreath, and then I'll go fresh balsam. But I love this stuff. I actually like to use balsam fir kind of all throughout the year. I'm not only exclusive to using it in the winter. So I thought I would get 2. And then I was intrigued by the winter citrus wreath as the moisturizing hand sanitizer. Again, I really like this as a pump version. And so I thought I would try this in this format. I actually bought 2, but I'm currently using one in my car. Just while we're here talking, I'll give you a little bit of a review. I don't think this is the best packaging for this type of hand sanitizer. Every time I go to use some, and I store it down like this in my car in a cup holder, I still have to like shake it to get product out. It is not naturally collecting. And I think it's because it's kind of like a lightish whipped kind of texture. So it doesn't naturally like move around in here without some kind of force, which is why I think this format is better suited for their pumps because it did work well to be sucked up by the pump. And because it was always sort of sitting in that settling position and then being sucked up by the pump mechanism, it moved the product down in an effective way. Interestingly, I needed to go buy one for my classroom. I don't have it to show you because I already put it back in my classroom, and they haven't seemed to release any winter specific pump hand sanitizers, which has me a little bit nervous because I do know that my store had like a selection of pumpkin ones at one point, and I was keeping my eye out to buy them if they went on clearance. But by the time the fall clearance sale came around, my store had sold out of them. So I don't even know if they went very discounted or if they'd just been depleted before that point. So I had to stomach buying one at like a full price rate, which was kind of annoying, but whatever, neither here nor there. I just wish that they would come out with this as a pump because I would absolutely buy it and use it in my classroom, but that's where we are. I don't know now that I've experienced that if I will keep buying this format, but I have to say it is nice that they are just ever so moisturizing. I wouldn't consider them like treatment, like it's not a hand cream, but sometimes hand sanitizer can further dry my hands out. I don't think this does that. I think it sort of maintains whatever moisture is on my hands already and also cleans them. So I can understand the appeal of this formula, but I don't think this packaging is the best for it. But that was the second purchase that brought me into Bath & Body Works. And then finally, as I mentioned, when I went in to do that buy online, pick up in store, and also buy a classroom hand sanitizer, they were doing what they've done the past, I think, couple of years now, which is essentially a unannounced, not branded candle day sale. All of their candles were down to the $9.95 price, I think it was. And I had a coupon on top of it that was soon to expire. So I was like, well, let me just poke around because my store also had released at least the first wave of winter candles. So I was like, well, same thing as last year. I would like to make a purchase maybe now. And the store that I was in was busy. Not as busy as some candle day traffic, but like busier than it normally would be on a typical like Friday at the mall. And there were a collection of candles that I ended up snagging for like, I think it was $8 and some change. So right around what candle day prices would have been. And the truth of it is, if this is similar to what happened to me last year, I made a purchase at a sale like this, the Unofficial, what I call the Unofficial Candle Day sale. And it then made me not need to go out on Candle Day because there was nothing new and attractive or different than what was being offered. And at least in my area, the store had a like a coupon code to get the actual Candle Day pricing, so I couldn't stack a coupon on top of it. So the unofficial Candle Day price had actually been a better deal than if I had waited for Candle Day. So keeping all of that logic and history in mind, I grabbed 4 candles. I definitely was trying to play it conservatively, but I don't really have a lot of winter candles. I burned through most of what I had last year, and so I tried to just be selective, maybe pick a few that I knew I would absolutely need to have this year for this price. I mean, at this point, like that's just like as good as any other candle company pricing would be. So I grabbed first Tree Farm. I love, oh my gosh, it's so good. I could just sit here and smell this and smell this. Lydia has actually been asking us to put up our Christmas tree, and like, girl, yes. I think I probably will also love burning this because it's just like the perfect Christmas tree scent. And I do think the little postcard packaging is also precious. So big fan of that one, had to rebuy it. Then in that same collection, there was the Let It Snow. What is this one? This is Snow Covered Balsam, Rich Amber, and Sunlit Lavender. This gave me not exact same vibes, but some similarities to, I think it was Lavender and Pine last year. I might have one more from that collection last year that I was absolutely obsessed with. But this was nice. I'm really all about balsam fir. So any kind of spin-off or combination of balsam fir, I tend to want to gravitate towards in the winter candles. As I say that, I then bring you my third pine one that I got, which was the Sugared Pine Needles. I also think that this is really pretty. I like the colored wax. I like this little see-through seal that's on it. This one was Sweet Pine Sap, Frosted Eucalyptus, and Warm Spice. Yeah, that warm spice, it reminds me of like a classic Yankee Candle. Can't remember what it is. Like a classic, I feel like a classic Christmas Yankee Candle is what this gives me vibes of. I like it too. I can't help it. I am grossly obsessed with balsam fir. And then the last one that I got was Snowflakes and Cashmere. I am not sure I've ever had this as a 3-wick before, or if it's even been out as a 3-wick. I feel like I once had it as either a single wick or like a, what is it called? The little fragrance bulbs, whatever those are. I don't ever buy them, but sometimes at semi-annual sale, they used to sell those sample candles as a way to make money and whatever. So I think I've had it as that before. Oh, this is nice. This is one of those ones though, that's pretty light. So it either will be potentially scentless, or it will have to be used in a smaller room, like in our bedroom, but it smells exactly like the body care, and I really like that. So hopefully this decent performance. I came to find that a lot of the reviews that I was watching for candles in the fall were complaining that there was a lot of watering down of scent and not a lot of scent throw. Don't love to hear that. So hopefully that's not the case with these, because they also were a good price. So if they could be good burners and have been a good price, that would just be so magical. But like I mentioned, it feels like I am reporting back frequently that I'm buying things from Bath & Body Works, which in some ways feels like maybe I am not on track with my usage. But then when I look at my numbers and like I'm seeing myself pull constantly out of the closet and use stuff up, there's just a lot more movement and cycling through in the closet. And maybe that's normal now that I don't have these high numbers in there, but we'll talk about this more at the next Hoarding Closet update. In the meantime, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for part of your day, and I'll catch you in my next video real soon. Bye.